Welcome to jgtv, and today is a special day and year. This year marks 5 years since my first ever upload on YouTube, and I was thinking I need to do something special, so I decided to go through my entire music library and pick out my favorite songs from my library. But since that video would take all day, I decided to go through the alphabet and include a favorite song from that letter. If you don't know what that means my favorite songs that start with the letter A, B, C, so on and so forth. Also going to list 5 honorable mentions after each letter. Also, if a song starts with the word the, like the one, the heart, the dreamer, they're not going to count towards the letter T, but instead of the second word that follows. Oh, and one more thing. For some of these songs, I've already taught my piece about them in past videos, so instead of repeating myself, I'll just use video clips on where I originally spoke my piece on it. Got all that? Good, so let's jump into this. Before we begin, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. It costs free $99, it helps out the channel, and you'll have zero regrets doing it. So without further ado, on to our feature presentation. Letter A. From 1999, we're starting off with a cover song and one of the main R&B girls of the late 90s. And what do you know, it's a song that I've already talked about in the past, so let's flashback.
Flashback.
First and foremost, I want to give credit to the group Eternal as they originally recorded this song, but I didn't get the same feeling as this one did. Monica and Darkchild changed the lyrics, gave it a beat, and added her flair to the song to help it cross over. It's a simple love song, and again, Monica's strong vocals is evident here. And here's another song I heard live in person. Another great Monica song. Check it out if you haven't heard it. It's definitely worth multiple re-listens. Letter B. From the year 2002, this one comes from a pop princess and possible Britney clone, and this served as her magnum opus.
I am beautiful, no matter what they say.
And it's another song that I've already talked about. 2 for 2 already?
Flashback.
Not gonna lie, Stripped is Christina Aguilera's best album. It is not even close. Now there's a lot of personal weight behind the scenes, but I'll save that for a later day. But Beautiful is one of the gut-wrenching and heart-hitting songs where Linda Perry writes about self-esteem. Even I struggle with that. And no matter what they say, there is worth in you. And out on with beautiful production with piano starting off with strings, and by the time that second verse come in with the drums, it is gut-wrenching. This is Christina Aguilera's finest moment, and it's a song that's still relevant to this very day. Letter C. 1988 was New Edition's breakout year. They released their most successful album, and here's a song from said album in Johnny Gill's addition to New Edition proved uncertainty because all New Edition did was bubblegum R&B. But like what Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis did with Janet Jackson, they wanted New Edition to transition from Boyz II Men, which was a song from that Heartbreak album. And one of the cuts that signified that transition was Can You Stand the Rain, a song that has gotten some controversy recently from being problematic. I don't know where that came from, but what I get, it's a song where everything is going good and rosy, but the test is when things get rough, will you be there? Will you weather the storm with me when I'm at my lowest? And I said it in my first ever music bio that New Edition was the first group I ever loved. Hell, they took my concert virginity. This song will always have a special place in my heart, no matter the storm. Letter D. 1995. I hate that it took tragedy for this song to come out.
'Cause I'm dreaming of you tonight.
Every time I listen to this song, I get sad because Selena never got to see her wish. But then I realized this is what she wanted all along. An English crossover record where if she was alive to see this, this song would have done numbers. After Selena's death, this song had a different meaning. If you don't know, it's a longing for your lover who's unsure that loves you back type song. Once Selena passed and the song came out, it became a bit of a tribute song, and that ending scene of Selena the series always gets me. It's a fantastic song. Rest in peace, Selena. Letter E. From 2003, a cut from Britney Spears that you wouldn't expect.
Every time I try to fly, I fall without.
And it's another song that I've talked about in the past, so let's flash it on back.
Flashback.
This song served as the response track to Cry Me a River and is vulnerable Britney at her finest. I say I do like both songs, but after re-listening to Britney Spears' version, her track clearly won. And why did it win? Well, in the song you could clearly hear the hurt in her voice, and to this day she probably hasn't gotten over the breakup. And I also have heard theories that this song may highlight abortions, as Britney allegedly aborted her and JT's baby. Can't confirm or deny it. But the lines that really got to me was, "What have I done? You seem to move on easily." And that could imply how quickly Justin wrote Cry Me a River, released it, and made it a mega hit. And whether this song is about Justin Timberlake or the abortion, this song is a borderline masterpiece that packs a punch. And this is easily the best example of vulnerable Britney. And with that being said, Every Time is Britney Spears' best song. Letter F. 1988, a group with a ton of controversy. Would you ever think NWA would ever become culturally significant without this song? In the 80s, especially on the war of drugs, where the drugs took a decisive victory, police would do any and everything to harass the black community. Ice Cube's opening verse packs a punch when he introduced the song, where he highlights how police will beat you down, and I love how he includes the black cops that likes to show out in front of the white cops, and in the end, he will rather settle things his way. MC Ren and Eazy-E verses, they're not really that as powerful as Cube, but all in all, the cop is sentenced to all of his wrongdoings. Now, the man did not like this song, and it gave NWA a letter from the FBI, which all the letter did was speak of disapproval of said song. But the letter was a blessing, as it gave NWA a platform to talk about police brutality. Other anti-cop songs like Cop Killer and 911 is a Joke are good, but none stayed as high as F the Police. And to that punk cop backstage, let's not go there. Letter G. Letter G. I'm going to talk about a group that has two G's. And the G's that I'm referring to is Big G and Lil G from Silk. Now, everyone knows this band for the chart topper Freak Me, and this song was one of the main follow-ups, which isn't better, but is still quality worthy. And the song is just your typical 90s R&B ballad, with John mostly taking the lead. And what makes this one special? The harmonies. And again, it shows a romantic side. Contrast that from its freakier side with Freak Me. It's an underrated Silk song. You should check it out. Letter H. 2004, a song that is universally loved, even with a dark meaning. Talked about this one as well. Y'all just really don't want me to talk about Hips Don't Lie on this channel.
Flashback.
Gonna keep this one brief because wasn't gonna be anything else. It's a song where Three Stacks is in a bind on whether love is even worth it. An upbeat, happy song that if you dig a little deeper, the song's really depressing. But hey, we don't hear them. We just want to dance as we shake it like a Polaroid picture. But all in all, whether you hear this song, you just smile. This might be one of the best songs ever made, not just this decade alone. So with that being said, Hey Ya by Outkast is easily the best song of the 2000s decade. Letter I. 1999, the biggest boy band song of all time.
Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why.
And once again, this song doesn't make any sense.
Flashback.
The stock Max Martin production with the acoustics, and you have one of the biggest songs of Backstreet's career. All five guys, especially Brian, brought a lot to the table. And yes, this song doesn't make any sense, but when a song is this catchy, does it even matter? If it wasn't for that whole "the song doesn't make any sense," this would have topped my list. But all in all, this is one of my favorite songs, not only from Backstreet, but all time in general, and I don't ever get tired of this. Letter J. Letter J, the first of many Biggie songs on this list.
It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Salt and pepper and heavy D up in the...
And this was an easy choice for me, as this is the introduction to the Notorious B.I.G. When he opens the song with "It was all a dream, I used to read Word Up magazine," you know you're in for a ride. And this song mostly highlights his journey from being at the lows, hustling in the streets, to becoming one of the rising rappers in the rap game. And not to mention the M2May's Juicy Fruit sample, which is an iconic flip. But overall, this is a song to celebrate. Sure, Big did not have long to reap his rewards of his new life, but for the short time he got, it was worth it, and I salute that. Letter K. Letter K. Let's just play 3 drum beats.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, H-Town was an R&B group from Houston, and this was their most notable single. And this is a bedroom jam where the term "knockin' boots" is Houston slang for sex. The verses or content isn't too meaningful, but the chorus is catchy, as is that intro. I don't consider H-Town true one-hit wonders. They still have moderate hits, but none reach the same heights as "Knockin' the Boots." But as a whole, it might not be a song that has aged well, but it's a big part of my childhood and life. So there's that. And rest in peace, Dino. Letter L. For letter L, it's my favorite Prince song. This song is so energetic, and if you think the song is about cars, well, guess again. Prince uses the Little Red Corvette as a metaphor for a woman. She's a thrill seeker, but someone you shouldn't trust for long-term commitment. And this song was what got Prince to the mainstream, and that eventually made him a cultural icon. He will reach his magnum opus with Purple Rain, but before that, there was this, a timeless song worth all the praise. Letter M. My birth year of 1997, and one of the most important songs of my existence. I explained this in my 1997 video. Let's review.
Flashback.
Flipping the "I'm Coming Out" sample by Diana Ross, it talks about the disadvantages of becoming rich. Mace opens up the song talking about how he hasn't changed much since dropping the murder from his name. If you didn't know, Murder Mace was his original stage name, and his quote-unquote wealth. Puff in his verse, he flexes like he normally does. And then comes B.I.G. with clever wordplay, how the FBI is after him for being a force in hip-hop, tapping his cell, and how he changed since he now has a Rolex and his flow is tighter than ever. And I can't ignore Kelly Price's impact on the song as she handles the chorus uncredited. This song is special for me. I have that connection with it. Definitely worth multiple listens. And with that being said, More Money, More Problems is the best song of 1997. Letter N. For letter N, I'm about to throw a little bit of a curveball. For me, Letter N had a lot of options, but I'm gonna go with High Five. And no, the song isn't better than I Like the Way or I Can't Wait Another Minute, but there's still a lot to enjoy. This song was featured in the Sister Act 2 soundtrack, and it had a pretty simple structure. It's all about regret over ending relationship. It's one of those songs where you appreciate the time that you have, because when it's gone, it's gone. He even pleads in the second verse that if she comes back, you'll see a different man. Now sadly, the group will disperse shortly after this song. Tony would go solo to minimal success. For High Five, this is probably their most underrated song in their catalog. Rest in peace to my birthday twin, Tony Thompson. Letter O. 1996, the biggest song of the 90s decade. I've lost track on how many times I talked about this song.
Flashback.
I spoke about this song multiple times on this platform, so I don't have much to say. But one thing I didn't discuss in both my Mariah Carey and Boyz II Men videos was the chart run this song had. What made this song unique was that it debuted at number 1, and back in those times, debuting at number 1 was a challenge. It's super easy now. And it will not let go of that spot for 16 consecutive weeks, which is a record. And another thing I didn't mention in either video was the motivation behind this song. Mariah lost a close friend, Boyz II Men lost their manager, and I also said something about the AIDS epidemic being a factor in this song. But I'm not the only one to highlight the chemistry was perfect, harmonies was marvelous, but also check out the acapella version as it's just as good as the original. Yet it was robbed at the Grammys and robbed of the number 1 year-end list spot for 1996. But hey, it's number 1 here, and deservingly so. And with that being said, One Sweet Day by Mariah Carey featuring Boyz II Men is the best song of the 90s. Letter P. For letter P, I'm gonna go to the year 2001, and this might be my most obscure pick of all of my songs here.
I can feel your body, promise me the pleasure.
I've been waiting to talk about this song for almost 4 years, ever since I covered Nicole in one of my past videos. This came from her original girl group in Eden's Crush from their only album, Pop Star. Get Over Yourself was the big single from that project, and it was followed up with the song Love This Way, and that song didn't get the push because their label was going under. Now if they had a proper push, Promise Me would have been huge. Vocally, this song is stunning. It's a shame that their label went under before the group could realize their potential, and for years I asked for their only album to be available on streaming, and I got my wish in 2024. Now for the next request, TikTok. I know me and you have not gotten along in the past few years, but if there's a way you could get this song to virality, I might forgive you a little bit. But overall, go check this song out. It is amazing. Letter Q. For letter Q, let's go to my birth year in 1997, and for a song that just missed the cut for the best songs of said year.
Quit playing games with my heart.
Once again, Backstreet Boys made this list, and it's their first American breakthrough. Quit Playing Games is another emotional roller coaster. The boys feel like the love is there, but the next moment, there's this distance. The boys just want answers instead of the girls, just playing games. They're sensitive, Now for the video, we don't talk about that. But this song was the start of Backstreet Boys mania, so please go check it out. I'm not playing games about that. Letter R. For letter R, even though this was released in the 80s, this song recently had a revival.
If only could, I'd make a deal with God, and I'd get him just...
I'll say this, I'm not the biggest fan of Stranger Things. It's a sci-fi show and sci-fi is just not for me. But back in 2022, thanks to said Netflix show, This song had a massive revival, an 80s synth pop tune where the protagonist wants to trade lives with someone you love so you can finally understand them and fix what's broken between you. I love how the song builds, and it's a good song to work out to. Sometimes the TikTok kids get it right. They do deserve some praise for that. Letter S. For letter S, let's go to the year 1994, and it's an album cut from one of my favorite albums of all time.
Remember back in the time when the only sign we had was pickets, but now in 94 it be this way, something come with.
Now I've talked about this song in the past, but I was kind of vague in my Crazy Sexy video, so I'll just explain it a little better here. For those of you who don't know, Something Wicked This Way comes from the Shakespeare play Macbeth. The song is best known for being the album's closer, where they put things in introspective. The song features a young Andre 3000 at 19, where he talks about gangs killing each other for the clothes they wear, which could be a Bloods and Crips reference, but in the end, he decided to diss the greatest entertainer of all time, calling him a sellout, and that was a choice. The chorus highlights how they long for the good old days, a simpler time, and Chili posed the question, was all this meant to be? But Left Eye has the biggest takeaway from this song. Freedom and peace starts from within, even though the world is wicked. Now the outro with T-Boz humming give this song an unresolved feel to it. It's the best album closer, best song on the album, a perfect closing to a classic. Letter T. For letter T, let's go to the year 1985 to Obama's favorite group.
Tender love, love so tender.
The Force MDs is one of those groups that often get lost in the shuffle, as they came in the era where New Edition was dominating. And this song is best known for being featured on the movie Crush Groove, and I could call this song a pioneering song of the Quiet Storm era of R&B. The sound of this song is one of the most recognizable sounds in music, as it's been sampled by nearly everybody, and this song is about a lonely lover as he desires some love, but not in a lustful way. The song was produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, and this was their first top 10 hit. And for the group, they didn't have much crossover success. It wound up having one of the most tragic endings ever in a vocal group. But sometimes tender love is all we need. It's warm, genuine, and comforting. Letter U. 1999, the best song from said year.
Can buy a hair that won't grow. You can fix your nose if he says so.
If only I already did a video on this.
Flashback.
My favorite girl group tops this list. Kudos to T-Boz as she wrote majority of this song, as she was feeling insecure about herself as she's a sickle cell survivor. It was said that she was watching Ricky Lake while writing it. The song just hits like a ton of bricks, as they highlight their own insecurities and going under pressure by their partners to make modifications to their beauty. Maybe they should get rid of them and focus on me if you can't love me for who I am. And T-Boz highlights that in the second verse. And pair that up with an acoustic production mixed with a folk and alternative rock sound, what you get is an empowerment anthem. Fantastic song by TLC, it's up there amongst my favorites, and it was an honor to see this song performed live this year. And with that being said, Unpretty is the best song of 1999. Letter V. From the year 1997, and it features one of the best verses of all time. And I'll say this here. The big reason why this is my choice for letter V is because of Big. This was his last verse he ever laid down, and it'll wind up being his best verse he ever spit. And I might as well point out with some of his standout bars, like how he'll outperform Mike, Jordan, Tyson, Jackson, call him Castro because his rap flows, but in the second verse he has heaters with the two-seaters with two Miras, or hiding money on the Isle of Cayman, y'all just betray men. But let me stop, because I could go on and on. Victory features Big's finest work. Felt like he rapped as if his life was on the line on this song. It was a victory for Big. Letter W. For letter W, it's one of my all-time favorites.
Baby, that's just why I love you so much.
Once again, Monica makes this list, and this time it's my favorite song of hers and Jimmy Butler's. And one of the reasons why I love this song so much boils down to Monica's charisma, especially at the young age of 13 and 14 when she recorded this. And the song just shows her gratitude for her partner, but she then tells them, don't switch up on me when you hanging out with the guys, let them know I'm yours. But not in a possessive way, because he always treats her right. Again, Monica's performance overall is just magnificent. No wonder why I love this song so much. Might end up having to make a separate video about it. We'll have to wait and see. Letter X. For letter X, there's only one person that can make this spot. I only had one song that started with the letter X, and it had to be this one. Now, is the song perfect? No, it had that awful daughter line. This song is just X's message to the rap game that he's coming for that top spot, and he did, as he became the first rapper to have 2 albums to go platinum in the same year. Again, the song's not perfect. Even though this wasn't his debut single, it was a good introduction to Earl Simmons. May he rest in peace. Letter Z. For letter Z, let's go to the year 1969, and now the year we was introduced to the greatest entertainer of all time. I only had one song that started with the letter Z, and I'm surprised that this is the only time in this video that I'm talking about Michael Jackson or the Jacksons. But the history of Zippity Doo Dah is kind of dark, but here it goes. It was featured on the Disney movie Song of the South, a movie that Disney wants you to forget about, and this was only the second Disney song to win Best Original Song at the Academy Awards. But the Jacksons got their hands on the song and they placed it on their debut album. And honestly, there's not much to it, but any chance I get to talk about Little Michael, I'm gonna take it. Just like the old movie said,
I love Little Michael.
again, this was only the Z-list song on here. I'll take what I can get. Now, this would end the list, but I have one more entry because I have quite a bit of songs that started with a number and I want to do it justice. Letter number. Letter number. Let's close this video off with Mace.
You had 24 hours to live. Just think, where would you go? What would you do? Who would you...
This song is a mega collab of bad boy rappers talking about what they'd do if they had 24 hours left in this world, and some of their ideas are bizarre. For Mace, at least he intends to do good, give money to the poor, take underprivileged black kids to high-class neighborhoods to show that the hood doesn't mean final destination. He also want to teach men how to invest your money. For Jadakiss, he don't care. He'll just eat fried chicken and play the lottery for no reason. For Sheik Lude, he wants to get back on the guys who sold him the wrong powder, steal your girl from the bank, and then in the final hour, blow up all the courts. For Styles, he just want to go full shootout mode, rob a few people, and give it to his family, but warns them that even though he'll be gone, the men will be out to get him. But the two people I want to highlight in this song is Black Rob and DMX, because in their closing lines, respectively, Black Rob is going to do a lot of wild things, but he will save his final moments with his family, which is surreal given that Black Rob passed in 2021. And for DMX, yes, he's going on a murder spree, but he wants to reconcile with his mother, which he did. But in his final line, he says, "You will remember my name. I wanted to live forever, but this wasn't fame." This collab might not be for everyone, but what a concept this was. And I hope some of these modern rappers give this an update. And that concludes this list. I want to thank everyone for all the support over the last 5 years. It means a lot to me, and here's to more videos. So please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, as majority of you watching this video aren't subscribed. Also, throw a hype so YouTube can show this to a wider audience. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. The following was a jgtv production. Thanks for watching.